Hey, happy Thursday. What are we doing today? Monday and Tuesday we talked about DNA, genes, chromosomes, all that good stuff. Keep that locked up tight right up here in your brain because you're going to still need all of that for what we're going to do next. So what are we doing today? Our I can statement, I can explain the role of mitosis, new word, in asexual reproduction, maybe a new word. We're going to learn all about that today. So if you're watching this, you have done your bell ringer, which you probably know the answer to, and you have done the warm-up. So you watched that video of people falling on some ice. So you answered a question about what happens when you get an injury. Like, if you scraped your arm, did you continue to gush blood for days? That's gross, but I hope that wasn't what happened. Something changes. Your wound starts to heal. So what is all of that about? How does that happen? So let's get started in our notes because we're going to answer that question. Remember, you should have your guided notes pulled up. You should be filling in each blank as I do the same. So type away. All right, let's get to it. The cells in our body do not live forever. They die and are replaced with new cells. So this process is called cellular division. So your cell divides. If you look over here at that picture, that's literally what's happening here. You can see one cell splits into two, and they split into four, and it continues on and on and on. So what is the purpose of this? Why are our cells doing this? So cellular division is for replacing dead cells. So if you have a cell that has died, because your cells don't live forever, shockingly enough, they replace those. Your body grows. So if you look at this picture here, you've got a boy who grows into a teen, and he grows into an adult, and then he's an old man. So when your body grows, it makes new cells. Lastly, we are repairing our damaged cell. So that's if you get your cut or your bruise. Those cells are now damaged or dead. So you need to replace them. So like if you get a cut, or if you're like this lady here who gets bounced in the face with a basketball, she probably damaged some cells with that. So those cells are going to need replaced. All right, so the cell cycle, or what happens in the life of a cell, it has three different stages. So first is interphase, mitosis, there's that word again, and here's a fancy one, are you ready? Cytokinesis. That is cytokinesis. More sciencey words. What do they mean? Interphase is the cell doing its function or its job. So a cell is just being a cell. If it's a blood cell like this one right here, it's just being a blood cell. It's just doing what blood cells do. Your skin cells, they're just being skin. That's what it's doing during interphase. That's all that's happening. So during mitosis, your cell replicates or makes a copy of its chromosomes. There's that word again, those X-shaped things in the nucleus. So during mitosis, it's like if somebody steps on your toe and you're like, ouch, mitosis, that's mitosis. I can hear you laughing, it's fine. So your cell will make an actual copy of those chromosomes inside of its nucleus. The last stage, let me move myself over, is that cytokinesis. So during cytokinesis, two separate cells are formed. So that's how the cell actually divides. It's during cytokinesis. It splits into two. All right, now all of these parts are super important, but we are going to really focus in on mitosis. So last slide. Man, we are zooming through this. So mitosis has four phases. They are prophase, metaphase, anaphase, and telophase. Prophase, metaphase, anaphase, and telophase. If you remember PMAT, P-M-A-T, that's how you can remember them. And they all end with phase, so you really just have to remember pro, meta, ana, tele. Now, we're not going to dive into what happens specifically in each stage. We're going to do that on Monday. So for now, we just need to know that it has 4 phases. So, what happens during those phases? What's going to happen is mitosis will make an identical copy of the genetic material and pass it on to a new cell. So all of those chromosomes sitting inside your nucleus, they're going to make an identical copy and they're going to pass it on to a brand new cell. So identical reproduction, which is what's happening here in mitosis, is known as asexual reproduction. I cannot spell. There we go. Asexual reproduction. So if it's identical, it is asexual. Later on down the road, we're going to talk about sexual reproduction. You heard me. That doesn't make identical copies, but we'll get into that. Right now, all you need to know is mitosis is asexual. All right, last blank. Mitosis is going to occur in only somatic cells. Somatic is just a fancy word of saying body cells. So you're probably thinking, aren't all of my cells body cells? The only other type of cells are your sex cells, which again, we're going to talk about that later when we hit up sexual reproduction. So for now, just remember that mitosis, or that identical reproduction, known as asexual reproduction, that's going to be happening in your somatic cells. All right, that's all I've got for you today. Easy breezy. Hit me up if you have any questions, and we'll pick this up tomorrow.